After the birth of your baby, when should you take your newborn baby back to the pediatrician to have a checkup? And what I recommend to parents is that right from the time you're in hospital, develop a rapport with the pediatrician. Make sure that you have a connection as to when you're going to next be seeing your doctor after you leave the hospital. Making sure that you get some advice, the staff that the pediatrician has, there is some kind of connection, there is documentation to complete to have your child registered with Home Affairs, and there's often some useful tips that we can connect and give you as to what to do in the next few days. So in my practice, I ask parents to come back 7 days after the birth. And it's very important to connect. And today I was reminded by that fact, by the fact that parents who'd come back were not really aware that their child had yellow jaundice. And, when you see your child every day, you're not sure. As a new parent, you see them every day. And as a pediatrician, we can pick up things and guide you through that first couple of weeks. The most important time period is the first couple of weeks when you're establishing feeding, breastfeeding, making sure that the umbilical cord care is correctly carried out, making sure that the feeding is established. We do checks, we check the weight, we make sure that the feeding, the breastfeeding's on track. And it's very difficult to know. You might feel like you have plenty of milk. As a mother, you might feel that you're giving enough milk. And the only way that we can see is to do the proper, what we call anthropometric measurements. We check the length, the head size, and the weight. And, we listen to the heart. There's an important transition from the time your child is born, where the blood is suddenly diverted kind of towards the lungs. During pregnancy, it's being bypassed by a little tube in the heart. And that transition can sometimes not happen 100%. And there can be a little murmur that can only be detected at a week and at 6 weeks. These are very important things that a pediatrician needs to look at. And remember, as a doctor who just sees children for a living, we are much better suited to professionally and giving your child the best care that we can. We make sure that your child is on the right milks, if there's an allergy, if there are rashes, to make sure that the sleeping, the feeding, that there isn't gastroesophageal reflux. All those little things in that first couple of weeks are vital. And then, of course, if you as a mother have some medical issues, we can often guide and assist you together with your obstetrician. The next most important check, we advise parents they're welcome to come into my practice every week. We offer a free weighing service. And then, of course, pediatricians understand vaccinations. So at 6 weeks is the next most important, or at 8 weeks. That is when the next most important checkup is happening. And we do a complete neurodevelopmental assessment, checking from the heart, nutrition, making sure that some of those congenital problems that may arise are detected. There are some rashes that develop after birth that might not be detected. And because of exposure to certain hormones during pregnancy, rashes, something called a strawberry hemangioma can develop that might not be detected. And of course, there's little infantile acne. There are also ways in which we can guide you to help develop routines and make sure that the sleeping pattern is well organized. And then the next important neurodevelopmental assessment is at the 3 primary vaccination times, 6, 10, and 14 weeks. And then, of course, at 6 months, 9 months, and 1 year. Being proactive, making sure that development's on track. Today, what we call ambulatory medicine that's outside of hospitals, that is preventative, to make sure that we're detecting and picking up those subtle as well as neurodevelopmental problems that can happen. Whether it is posture on the bones, making sure that the organs are functioning properly. There are so many little things that as a pediatrician we see, whether it's eyesight, hearing, and making sure the shape of the head is developing correctly. There's sometimes conditions where the bones can fuse. So in the first year of life, it is critical that a child is monitored very carefully. Not all parents have the luxury of being able to take their child to a pediatrician. But most countries in the United States, actually pediatricians see all children, in fact everybody, up to the age of 21. So, I think as a choice, if you can, it makes sense to take your child to the best person who can look after and take care and develop a relationship, making sure we discuss wider issues, speech, development. And so, if there's any further questions that we can help you with, you're welcome to email us on support@drjohnflett.com. Go to our website, drflett.com, and guyllittleminds.com. There's an enormous resource. Or phone us. We are sometimes able to help on the phone without you coming in. So I hope that helps.